And new data shows inflation is slowing and outperforming expectations. The Consumer Price Index shows prices increased 0.2% from June to July and 2.9% compared to a year ago. ABC's Elizabeth joins me now for what those numbers all mean. So, Elizabeth, break this down for us. What does this mean for our budgets?
And you know, Diane, for so many months, we've been talking about inflation coming in hotter than expected and these consistently high prices. This is a report that shows inflation is moving in the right direction. That 0.2% increase month over month was in line with expectations. 2.9% increase compared to a year before, actually a little bit better than expected. And that is the smallest yearly increase, Diane, since March 2021. So that is a significant improvement when you're thinking about the progress that we've made in this inflation fight. At one point, the rate was as high as 9%. So getting below that 3% marker shows that there is this trend of inflation cooling, that prices aren't going up as fast as they were. Now, of course, when you talk about inflation, prices are still going up. So when you look at your budget, generally it doesn't mean that you're going to see an overall decrease in what you're paying, but it does show that those prices are not going up as fast, and that is going to be a lot of relief when you think about the impact month over month cumulatively of how those prices aren't going up quite as much now.
So what products or industries, are there specific areas where they're dealing with particularly high inflation?
Yeah, we always like to break down where the biggest culprits are. And in this report, the hands down biggest increase came from housing. 90% of the increase in CPI came from shelter, which mostly includes rent. So that is one of the areas we've seen prices do continue to go up on a monthly basis. One economists I've talked to say they are not going up generally as fast, but that's obviously a huge cost for a lot of budgets. We are seeing, Diane, thankfully some prices go down when you look at used cars, medical care, airfares. That's all good news for consumers.
So what could this mean for interest rates, Elizabeth? That's always the big question when we get these reports in right now.
It's always the question, what does it mean for the Federal Reserve? And what this shows is that we are on track for the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates, likely at its next meeting in September. The Federal Reserve wants to see inflation cooling. This report confirms that inflation is heading in the right direction. So now the Fed is focused on perhaps it can finally take a look at the inflation picture and lower interest rates for the first time in more than 4 years. So that would, of course, make it cheaper to borrow money for your credit card, take out a new car loan, a new home loan. That would be much needed relief. The real question for the Federal Reserve is how much does it cut interest rates? That's going to continue to be looking at the data going forward, not just on inflation, Diane, but also looking at the jobs picture to say, how much do we need to kind of stimulate the economy after having these high interest rates for so many years?
All right, Elizabeth Chelsea, thank you.